So today we talked a little bit about proportions and percents and how do I use proportions to solve percentage questions. So in this video, either you were gone from class or you just need a quick refresher. I'm going to give you some extra problems, so this is a great place to practice before the quiz. If you just want extra practice to make sure that you've got it, this is the place. So basically what we're going to do today, it says, how do I use proportions to solve percentage questions? We are going to set up every question today in one of these. We're going to do a lot of line equals lines. All right? And so what will always happen, just so you know, you will always have a percent, and percent always goes out of what? Got it. So percent is always out of 100, and then it will say, it might say is something. Is goes on top because is means it equals the percent, and of is the total, and the total always goes on the bottom. So for example, if they said something to the effect of what is 15% of 32? I might say, well, gosh, how am I going to do that? There are a couple of ways, but today we're going to do it the proportion way. So I'm going to set out a line equals a line and 15%. So I'm always going to start, 15% is always 15 out of 100. Got it. Then what is 15% of 32? Do you see how the of 32 is right there? So the 32 goes here and it says what is. The what, I'm not sure what it is, so I'm going to use X. Then you're going to go into your handy dandy calculator. Hopefully you remember how to do this piece. And you're going to do 15 times 32. So pull out your calculator, do that quick with me while I do it. 15 times 32. Push enter, and then divide that by what's left. So 15 times 32 is 480. Divide it by 100, and so X equals 4.8. And then you're just going to box that up so we can find it. All right, so let's just go through a whole bunch. I'm going to go to the slide. So here are 7 questions. And so what I would like you to do is just pause the video and see what you can do with these questions. So pause it, and then come back with me and I'll go through a quick explanation to make sure you got it. Alright, so let's go through. I'm going to put a line equals a line out for each one of these. Again, there are other ways to do it, but that's for tomorrow. And this is just a good way. A lot of your brains will think really well this way. So this says 120%. So the 120% always comes out of what? Got it, 100. But Mrs. Beaver, 120 is bigger than 100. You're right. Doesn't matter. Percent is always out of 100. This just happens to be bigger than 100%. So either there's extra credit or it grew a whole bunch, it more than doubled. So, and that's okay. So then it says 120% of Y is 42. Of always goes on the bottom. So the Y is down here. Is always goes on top. So the 42 goes up there. All right. Now what do? I'm going to take my 42 times 100 and then divide that by what's left. When I do that, I end up with Y equals 35. All right. Let's go on to the next one and see what you can do with that one. So it says 300% of M is 600. That means there was some growth in this one. So I'm going to put out my line equals a line. 300%. Well, the 300 goes on top. Percent is always, always, always out of 100. Got it. Then of M, of always goes on the bottom, is goes on top, 600. So there's 2 ways to do it. This one, look at this. I could cross multiply, but I just see that 300 times 2 is 600, and so I can do times 2 down here. So M equals 200. Let's try the next one. what percent of 80 is 12? So line equals a line, what percent? I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's going to be out of 100. What percent of 40 is 12? Is goes on the top, of goes on the bottom. This one I'm going to cross multiply because it doesn't come out super nicely. So I do that 100 times 12, divide it by 40, and I get x equals, did you get 30? Good. Me too. All right, let's try the next one. What percent of 48 is 18? So what percent, it's always out of 100, of 48 is 18? So 18 times 100, divide it by the 48. This one doesn't come out perfectly for me, and that is okay. X equals 37.5. Now, this one and the last one, I didn't do that either. It says what percent, so what am I missing? Yep, I'm missing a percent sign. So if that last one you were like, hey, you missed the percent sign. Fabulous. Good catch. All right, let's see. Next one. What percent is 54 of 60? So a line equals a line. What percent? I don't know, but I know it's going to be out of 100. Is 54, so the is on top, of 60. All right, now, some of you might just go, hey, I would just do 54 divided by 60. Awesome. 54 divided by 60 equals 0.9. But then don't forget that times 100, so x equals 90%. So again, there's always several ways of doing it, and that is a good one if that's how you chose to do it. If you did it a different way, as long as you came up with 90, I am happy. Next one, what percent is 39 of 50? Line equals a line. What percent, always over 100, is 39 of 50? Hey, look it. I can just double that. Do you see it? You can cross multiply, you could divide out and move the decimal point over. There's a bunch of different ways, but what I see is that x equals 78, and because it's a percent, gotta have that percent on there. Last one, let's see how we're doing. So it says find 80% of 25. So 80%, percent is always out of 100, of 25. Of is on the bottom. So, I see that this is a nice one. I see divided by 4. Do you see that? Again, you can cross multiply, whatever, but I see that this is super nice. I'm just going to divide both by 4. So x equals 20. Do I need to put a percent sign on? Nope, because it's just looking for a number. So hopefully that helps. If you need more help, just make sure to ask me, but that should get you a really good start for today's stuff.